one.
Guys, a trio, by the
Yeah.
way. I've got. I'm looking at the screen. I have a gentleman at the right that looks like he could possibly be a great teacher. I've got the guy that's playing with some machine with it, certainly is a tech nerd, and another guy looks like it's possibly a clown. I think we're going to have fun today.
Yeah.
Let's hope
sure.
That's all we're trying to have here. All we're trying to do is having some fun.
Okay, before we start with questions, let's tell everybody who we are. Okay, Rick, wave your hand.
I'm Rick.
Rick? Yeah,
Hi.
that's Rick. You're from the Dutch Libertarian Party. And the clown is Yoshi, it's the Liberland guy. He lives very close to
I'm
Liberland.
living near Liberland. I'm persona non grata of Liberland since a month.
All right.
Because he wants to do elections, yeah.
Yeah, I want to elect.
And he's looking for the vice president, by the way. And you're Yoshi, you are on crypto for 8 years now without a bank account?
Yeah, I'm living without a bank account since 6 years. I'm into Bitcoin since 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, Yoshi. Welcome aboard. We don't have bank accounts or credit cards or telephones.
I do still have a telephone.
Yeah, you know, if you're out there, then dude, you've got more balls than me.
And I'm Johan, and Johan, I used to be from the Libertarian Party, but I don't believe in democracy anymore. And I believe since I'm in crypto, I think that's the best way to get rid of the state. So yeah, that's me. Yeah.
And I'm John. I'm John's double, Jeffrey, and I was told just to sit here and talk to you people today. I don't know much about John's business, but I do stand in for him from time to time. I'll do the best I can today, gentlemen. Let's pretend that I am John. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. Well, the first question, Rick.
Yeah, what is your current situation? Since, well, we saw all these news flashes about you fleeing to different places and people chasing you and that kind of thing. How are you right now?
Well, let's see, after Janice and I got out of jail in the Dominican Republic, that was in the middle of July, we just gone underground. You know, for 7 months we were having fun. We were just running from the government. We holed up in the Bahamas where they have no extradition for tax evasion, just 90 miles from America, and we're lying in the sun and thumbing our noses. They came after us there. We went to Cuba. We were there for a month and a half, and the Cuban government called Janice and I in and said the American government had unofficially, since there's no official channel, requested my return to America. They were disinclined to do that. However, they did say that my continued existence on Cuban soil would be an uncomfortable position for Cuba, and they gave us 72 hours to leave. We left, went 4.5 days at sea, pulled into the Dominican Republic. We were arrested before we even got off the boat. And they said, we have to send you back to America. I go, for fucking what? Number one, we didn't come back. Anyway, so we were in jail for 4 days while my lawyers were fighting it out in the courts, and we won. What we won was the right to tell my story before the courts. Well, fuck me. If I told the truth, and the authorities had idiotically videoed everything, including my demand. Number one, you're on my boat illegally. I haven't entered your country yet. Because you're neither Coast Guard nor any sort of Marine or maritime part of the Dominican Republic. It was internal security that arrested us. They said, and I demand to speak to customs so that I can declare my guns, my money, and everything else that I've gotten. He says, no, you can't. Anyway, 4 days later, after we win the right to go to trial, they immediately say, where do you want to go? And we were taken from, Jesus God, a jail with no glass in the windows, just rusty iron bars, 120-degree heat, and mosquitoes so thick you could reach out your hand and eat them. So went from that to the VIP lounge where they host international heads of state at the Santo Domingo airport. where we were served by white-gloved people and had caviar and champagne. It was a very freaky day. Thank God I was not on LSD that day.
First-hand monetary apartheid.
Yeah, that would have been, whoa, just too much. So, but in any case, so on the way to England, we said, we can't be thumbing our nose anymore. We've got to just go underground and into hiding. And we've been for almost 8 months now. And I want to tell you something. It's a fucking blast, all right? It's just a fucking blast. We don't have to look over our shoulders. We're, I don't know. It's nice.
Yeah.
You have to make the best out of it. I mean,
yes, absolutely. Yes.
You can lock yourself into a small garage and be afraid of the world, but that's also kind of what they want, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, we had another question. Do you still plan to use the masked lookalikes to represent you in the presidential debates?
No, probably not. I mean, that was an ambitious proposition. We had technical difficulties. We tried 3 times with clones of mine in Times Square with the Larry and Joe show, and we never could get it working quite right, and it just turned into a night. So no, with the microphones it's set up, I mean, to be able to hear my voice and me to hear what people are saying, that just was too much for anything other than a super quiet location, which is not going to work for public speaking, is it? So.
Yeah.
But then how will you survive your inauguration? Do you have some kind of doubles or what? Because probably you're not will not be too safe.
There won't be an inauguration. I'm John McAfee. Please God, I have no chance. President.
I think we put the question on the wrong place. It was, if you are elected president, how would you survive your inauguration? Because the state doesn't want anybody else outside the Democrats and the Republicans.
I would make a temporary White House on the French Riviera, and have it done there, and all business done on the beach, while being served. I don't know, tropical drinks, and listening to nice music while scantily clad waitresses drifted by with all sorts of. That's what should be happening. I mean, listen, if we had that now, we wouldn't have wars in this world. Who the fuck wants to go to war when you're just having the time of your life? Well, nobody.
Yeah.
So let me ask the question a little bit different.
Yes.
You are not afraid to be suicided?
Of course, I'm afraid to be suicided. That's why I'm in hiding.
Yeah. All right.
Janice and I have come close over the past 8 years. If we had more time, we could go into it. But of course, I'm afraid. I mean, we live in a corrupt world, people, where power has become so great that a human life is of zero significance to these people. And I'm just human life.
But still, we understood that you are running for president, right? Since you're not the running mate anymore, Vermin Supreme, right?
Yeah, Vermin wouldn't have me, and I understand that. He's out with that time traveling fellow, and I understand that. I mean,
I thought you had a weakness for strange headgear, so that's why I dressed. I'm looking for a running mate for the vice president of Liberland.
McAfee, what do you want to say?
Basically, you can only have one vice president of running mate, and I think he has a good one. So I'm just going to run for vice president and president. That's perfectly legal by laws. So that makes it easy. I'm going to be my own running mate. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. We had also a question about your campaign. Can you tell us in short about what would you do if you what's your platform?
I don't have because I don't. First of all, I don't think it matters who the president is. I see we've got it all wrong. We think the presidents have power. They don't. The people who have power are the people who control information. Well, that's the CIA or military covert agencies. But the presidents have no power. They've had no power since 1960, not in America. And the CIA truly runs both Congress and the president. How? By providing information. I mean, for example, it wasn't Bush that wanted to bomb Iraq. He could have cared less. It was the CIA. And the CIA, for whatever reason, you know, who knows what goes on in the dark hearts of those clever folks, wanted Iraq destroyed. You know, so had a meeting and said, Fred, you and Tim, you know the president. We want it started immediately, like tomorrow. So go make the president start the bombing. And you guys go take care of Congress, and we'll also brief the military. And so the two guys talked said, do we have free reign? Yeah, tell them, go ahead. I tell them they got nuclear bombs. Who gives a shit? Just make it happen. So that's what happened. Walk in, Mr. President, please sit down. We have tidings of grave importance. We have discovered that Iraq has nuclear bombs and short-range missiles capable of reaching our closest ally, which is England. And, Mr. President, we believe that as early as tomorrow, a nuclear attack on England is imminent. Now, Mr. President, we are not here to advise you. Oh, no, absolutely not. We would never dream of such arrogance. No, we're just here to inform you. Well, no, you're there to make him do whatever you want. That's the truth of it. And if it's not true, and by the way, we all knew Iraq had no nuclear weapons. Everybody knew it. The American public, certainly the Middle East, Europe. The only people who didn't know were the President of the United States and our Congress. That's how things work, people. So it doesn't matter. We're in a system like an automobile with a frozen steering wheel. It does not matter who's driving. Put Trump in, put Clinton in. It's not going to make any difference. Put a derelict on the street, some drunk, won't make any difference. The car's going where it's going. So I have a platform. My only objective is to wake people up to this truth. So let's start looking behind the curtain, folks. I mean, when we all see the truth, then we shrug it off. This is what actually happens. We, the people, have the power.
So do you still believe in democracy then?
Oh my God.
If you say the people have the power, that's literally what it means, right? Democracy.
Well, does it? What it means, truth, no, it means anarchy, all right? Because people, when they become the power, they become the mob. And if you see any order to it, please tell me. There was the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the sacking of Rome. Throughout history, the same thing always happens. People eventually get pissed off and fed up. And then they shrug it off. Listen, they don't do it through democracy. No, they do not. Now, as to what comes after that shrugging off, generally it's worse, but settles down in, I don't know, a few decades usually. But democracy, if you're talking about one person, one vote, well, let's fucking try it. I mean, it's never been tried, has it? We've never had this. Before we start dissing it, let's see some stats. You know, I like real world experience rather than sitting down in the living room and jerking off while we all bounce off each other's ideas. Well, fuck that. No, let's try it. We've got the blockchain now. We have the ability.
We have also a lot of crypto questions, but first this one came from somebody, Peter Young up here. He wants to know, what will you do against the coronavirus, because you're an anti-virus pioneer. So here's the corona jingle.
First of all, there's no real threat. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm shocked that people don't see the obvious truth of what's happening. And number one,
Yeah.
4,600 deaths in 5 months. 5 months. 5 worldwide. In that same 5 months, 310,000 flu deaths. Same period. This is neither a rapidly growing exponential blossoming, nor is it a virus that's particularly deadly. Outside of Wuhan, where they keep the sick outside in stadiums, without blankets, without supplies, well, of course the death rate's 2%. I mean, take a very strong, well person and put them there. They're going to have a risk of death. Outside, it's 0.16. What is it for the flu worldwide? 0.17. Good God, you're being manipulated, people. Now, if it doesn't sway you, let me ask you this. China, which sealed off its most important research and development city, Wuhan, where every military, civilian, high-tech research plant exists, they sealed the thing off completely. Nobody goes in. Nobody comes out. Why? The Chinese say, well, it's to stop the spread of the virus. It's a fucking airborne virus, people. When you sneeze, those droplets turn into a mist, which can be blown 100 fucking miles. Did you see a dome come down from heaven? A 50-mile wide dome that encompassed the city? Now, had that happened, I go, okay, I can believe it. But no, I didn't see a dome. I just saw a bunch of police officers turning people away. Now, please, God, use your heads. Use your fucking heads. Stop listening to the mainstream media. It is rotting your brain, young kids.
So it's being used to build a narrative. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, what that narrative is, I'm not entirely clear. Just, but I promise you, when it's built, you ain't gonna like it. And the narrative that's being built currently and tried out, which I ain't buying, is that every country needs draconian laws. Sure, when you say you stay inside, you fucking stay inside.
Yeah, well, in the Netherlands right now, there's like...
I say, you may not assemble, you fucking may not assemble. See it happening in Italy, in China, in some cities in America. Please, wake up, children. Wake the fuck up. Are you this stupid that you're going to fall for that trick? I mean, that fucking trick is older than the woods. The trick is called fear. Pump some fear into the sheep, and they will do any fucking thing in the world if you say, don't worry, I can save you. All you have to do is obey my every fucking whim to the goddamn letter. If you agree to do that, I swear, I will keep you safe and your children and loved ones. Just as it always was. No, that's what you're falling for, you idiots. Yep. This is the fucking flu with a different strain. And story. If I could reach through this monitor, not you kids, but to the people, grab you by the throat and shake you, I would. But I'm going to drink instead.
Yeah. But the next question is, how is your, and it's all true what you're saying about the coronavirus, but this is about a question about the Libertarian Party. How is your relationship with the Libertarian Party at this moment?
It's a terrible relationship. The party leadership pretends I do not exist. And yet, on Super Tuesday, the North Carolina, which is the most important, I virtually tied for first place with that whoever he is. I've never even met him, and I don't care. Neither one of us are going to be president. But they are hoping I will just go away. And my organization is so loose and unstructured. How we did that in North Carolina, I don't fucking know. And yet we did. and we'll be doing it more and more. And I'm using the laws of the party to my best interest. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a self-interested motherfucker, okay, egotistical, whatever. I discovered while asking Vernon and every other, by the way, presidential candidate, if they would accept me as vice president, none of them would. I can't blame them, quite frankly. I mean, I wouldn't accept me. That'd be hard to handle. But in any case, I did discover that I can run for both president and vice president. Now, given that, now in the Libertarian Party, you don't really get to choose your vice presidential candidate. It's sort of it's an honorarium sort of thing. I mean, because they're two separate votes. You vote for president, that different vote for vice fucking president. However, the party has generally, whatever the president wants, that's who you vote for vice president. Vote for president first, then vice president. Well, I'm choosing myself as my running mate, which is the informal thing that everybody does. And so, you know, I'm my own running mate. And if I don't get the president, I'm still going to be on the fucking ticket for the vice presidency. Now, is that fair? I don't fucking know. I'm abiding by the rules. I mean, if you don't like it, change the goddamn rules.
Yeah.
Clear.
We have time for one more question, gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a lot of crypto questions, but okay, yeah.
Pressing.
Okay, here it comes. Yeah, the most important one. How important is the blockchain and yeah, cryptocurrency for humanity?
Oh, there's the question. All right, that's a long reply, and you deserve an answer, and I will give it to you as thoroughly as I can. And let's start with world-changing technologies of the past, I don't know, 100 years or even 200. Every one of major importance came from the bowels of some government's secret research program, or from a major corporation like IBM or Samsung, or what have you, and immediately was closed off to the people. What does that mean? Well, if you invent it and you're a company, you're not going to want everybody using it like your competitors. No, this is your shit. You're going to control how it is used. And if you're a government, how has that been used so far? Usually to spy on and repress the people. What all of our surveillance technology that came from within the balance of government programs is used to surveil, I'm sure, the Russians but mostly who? Us, the American people. So, but the blockchain, for the first time in 100 years, and if you think the blockchain is not world changing, then move out of your mother's basement and see the world, because it is world changing. So the first world-changing technology came from the people. This didn't come from the CIA. Some people, no, we know exactly who they were. About a dozen geeky, separate developers sharing their work and making an open source with Bitcoin, the blockchain, and the world's first cryptocurrency. And from that, it has morphed into an incredible discipline of privacy and opportunity and power for who? The people. For the first time in well over 100 years, people. Now, we can't throw this opportunity away. We can't just go, oh, well, fuck it. I can make money off of it, so screw it. I'm just going to buy and sell. No, use it. Use the privacy coins like Monero. Use distributed exchanges like McAfee DEX. If you can, we support Bitcoin now, as well as Ethereum and Tron and Binance and others. Truly distributed. We take no KYC. We don't ask who you are. We don't have to give us a document. Nothing. You just go through. You're an anonymous person to us. And
can I ask one follow-up question? Because in the last week we have seen a lot of countries bring out new regulation, and isn't that exactly what is going to break all of this spirit that you are talking about here, about circumventing all the controls? And of course your exchange still accepts people without having to identify themselves, but it's getting less and less. And
every truly decentralized exchange has to do that, or else it's not centralized, or else it's centralized. No, we take nothing. Listen, and you're worrying about what will happen. Yes, governments are going to ban privacy coins and make them illegal, and they're going to make distributed exchanges and decentralized exchanges illegal because you can't shut them down. But who cares? I mean, listen, I don't know if anybody out there listening has ever smoked marijuana. And if you've smoked it for any length of time, I promise you probably smoked it in a place where it was not legal. Did it stop you? Didn't stop most people. No, maybe if you're in Bavaria, maybe, I mean, with a 30-year penalty for smoking a joint, maybe I can understand that, but no, come on. It didn't stop anybody, and this is not going to stop anybody. Trust me. Why? We all see the power and beauty of it. And if you're worried and afraid, oh my God, it's illegal, well, then you don't see it as I do, which is way better than weed. So thank you very much. I've got to run.
Yeah.
Have a
Okay,
nice
thank you
evening.
very much. Yeah.
Right.
You can follow McAfee on official McAfee on Twitter if you want to know more about him. And,
I don't advise that. I don't advise following me, especially if you're old.
But it's a good Twitter channel to follow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your campaign. And yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.